What's good, my people? Definitely back again for another vibrations. Apparently a lot of you guys seem to be liking the videos and stuff. You guys have been meeting me and yo, when is the next vibes coming up? But guys, we're back again with another vibrations here on the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. Of course, yes, I think yesterday or the day before, I promised that I'm gonna be doing a reaction on a Gabriel Christian. Of course, he's one of the individuals I met under Obama when Obama brought me up to the United States. And of course, we're gonna be reacting to some of the stuff he's saying. He's a very powerful guy, definitely, guys. So with that said, guys, round of applause goes out to each and every one of you guys who tuned into yet another Mystelics reaction or Mystelics reaction, guys. And of course, this is where I tend to react to a number of videos taking place in Dominica, the Caribbean, and the rest of the world by extension. Definitely, guys, subscribe and turn on the post notifications so you can get all the videos as they tend to come from. But before I get into that, guys, I must make mention of some things that I actually saw. This, of course, is one of them right there. Somebody made this post stating that looking back at Vince's track record, Vince Henderson, for the past 20 years, brothers and sisters, he has served in the capacity of some sort dealing with the Dominica, whether it be ambassador, whether it be pal rep or something like that. Looking back at this track record, brothers and sisters, for the past 20 years, this individual is stating that they will take their chances with handbag any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You know, we just get, well, back in the day, I don't know if they're doing it now, but used to get double day when you work on Sunday, brothers and sisters. And of course, that person is saying they will take it twice, supporting handbag, twice on a Sunday when it comes on to the situation right there. There's also this that I saw as well, indicating the amount of people that are actually following handbags versus the Prime Minister. Now, guys, keep this in mind. This actually doesn't really mean much at all when it comes down to the situation dealing. A lot of people are looking at a handbag, what a handbag has to say. I know some people used to compare my lives to that of Scarrett as well, seeing that Mystelics has more people following him and whatnot. This is okay, this is cool, this is nice, but on the basis of actually supporting handbag, we have to actually do that, or the individuals in GRANDBAY have to do that in numbers, not via this thing right there. I rather handbag have 100 people there and Scarrett have 1,000, but when it comes down to the people in GRANDBAY actually voting, they vote 1,000 for handbag and 100 for why is his name again, Vince Henderson right there. It's important to notice this right there, guys, because of course there's a number of things that seems to be happening, and of course people were, well, I tell you, people were even analyzing they're analyzing all these kind of things when it comes down to the live, the amount of people watching at one particular time, and of course the views. Of course, Scarrett had 5,000, the handbag has 19,000, shares 33, while handbag at 320. That's almost 100 times. Not 100. That's almost, well, that was almost 10 times. I say 100. Almost 10 times the amount of what Scarrett shares was, the amount of comments and so forth. And you had this analysis, this Facebook analysts going out and about all over the place, guys, when it comes down to this situation right there. And of course, I saw this very important thing when it comes down to handbag as an individual, a roots man. When they call me illiterate, they are disrespecting the legacy of our grannies, our grandmothers, our grandfathers too. Don't forget the granddaddies, man. Our grannies spoke Creole. They could not read nor write, but our grannies were the best finance ministers. I know, it's true. I remember them back in the day. They used to organize this one, how they used to make things happen, going and sell bananas, carrying box on the head and so forth and so forth. Well, like stories I've heard in this regard. But I remember as a little youth, man. I remember as a little youth, these kind of situations used to take place. They were very good in finances. And of course, I never, as growing up as a little boy, I never thought of finances being a problem. Yes, the individuals that I was surrounded with were not necessarily the richest above all, but of course you had meat on your food, you had meat in your plate, you had rice, you have all kind of things, morning, breakfast, lunch and supper. And of course they didn't have much, but they were still making it with the finances that they had. And of course this individual pretty much stating, handbag himself stating, our granddaddies were farmers, fishermen, etc. They worked hard, and our grannies were not educated but wise enough to handle finances to make sure to send us to England. You remember back in the day when people used to actually build their house with cash? Brothers and sisters, they weren't the wisest and smartest set of people, but they were smart in definitely streets of which they lived. They were very smart in this regard. And of course, they sent their children to study. They would send their children to study cash. True or false? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. To universities in England, Canada, and the United States. I have no education, handbag is pretty much sitting. Yet, in this oppressed system, I'm still able to stand firm compared to our PhDs. Our masters, I think it's PhDs. PhDs. Our masters and our university graduates who will not stand for you. All of them are on the line waiting for handouts. They are waiting for handouts. I actually indicated that very same situation the other day, stating to individuals, guys, what about we're looking at the people in society who have done well in school and so forth, but yet still they are pretty much like everybody else. You would think that education of some sort in Dominica will... I mean, I think of Melissa again. Melissa says she has some IT degree or whatever she has, but yet she's making clothes for carnival. She's making... Anyways, brothers and sisters, just understand that fact there. Just because you have education doesn't mean you are smart. Some people know how to obey what they are being told, but doesn't mean they can think thoroughly or properly. There's always an advantage when you are street smart and understand how things work. Brothers and sisters, talking about how things work. I actually saw something saying if you type yes in the thing, you are going to get riches tomorrow, which is today. And of course, that's not how things work, brothers and sisters. I just have to put this in right there. A number of you guys actually saw me comment on that, and you were like, yeah, that's very true indeed. But there's also this particular situation apparently we're seeing right there. Apparently we have the ferry services returning to Dominica. The government approves, of course, the necessary details that need to be had, and of course that's a good thing right there. You think that is a wonderful thing? I think that is a wonderful thing in this regard. However, brothers and sisters, we have to keep in mind that something seems to be happening, because from my understanding that the French islands have thousands of positive Rona cases, guys, thousands upon thousands, yet still we're going to be doing these transactions in and out. It doesn't seem like a viable or thought-provoking thing where you can say, hey guys, maybe let that cases go down a little and we'll work to see what we can do right there. But no, they decided to bring boats, the ferry back. And of course, a number of persons realized that maybe just as a result of the GRANDBAY elections, they're saying this right there. All of a sudden, the ferry back in service, time to bring in labor rights to vote in the GRANDBAY by-election, brothers and sisters. Doesn't that seem like it's interesting? Or is it coincidental that is taking place right there? Is it coincidental? I don't know why I fupine on coincidental. I must have been like mellow man, but fire burn that right there. Anyways, guys, all of a sudden the ferry back in service, brothers and sisters, just in time for the GRANDBAY by-election right there. Is it coincidental, brothers and sisters, or is this actually a plot for them to try to bring individuals in to try to vote in GRANDBAY, knowing that the very man they say who's uneducated, apparently he has some sort of things that he's doing that making the people see, hey, that's a roots man, and I can actually side with him. So instead, the wise, not the wise, because just because you have education doesn't mean you're wise. Sometimes there are a lot of foolish educated people or dumb educated people in this society right there, or wicked. Some of them don't dumb, you know, they're wicked, brothers and sisters, to keep people in the same oppressive state. I actually dropped a video yesterday, well this morning I actually dropped it, talking about the truckers. I'll post that link in the description and in the first comment below, so you guys can definitely check it out right there. Anyways, guys, let's go to Gabriel Christian in this regard to understand why I really side with Gabriel when it comes on to this. And I like the fact that he's actually with Handbag in this situation and trying to help GRANDBAY, and how he has, guys, just listen. I talking to brothers
and sisters. Brothers and sisters, this is Gabriel Christian on Zoom, calling from Washington, D.C. Please give him a listen.
The man you see in there is a very profound individual. Okay, brothers and sisters, he's a lawyer in Washington, D.C. He is a very profound individual. Very, and brothers and sisters, trust me, when Obama then brought us up to the United States, let me tell you, he was there. And it's not simple you ending up there, brothers and sisters, especially when you're invited by the government of, not the government, what do you call them? Well, the government of the United States of America. United States Department of these individuals that they brought this guy, Dominican, there, and of course he had to talk to us on a number of things. I wasn't there at that time when I met him, but he said he heard of this individual, man. He heard of this individual and he had to link up, man. He had to link up, and of course that individual was me. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
Go ahead.
It's communicated in a way that's clear and that you can understand. So if you can just give me, just clap your hands twice so I can make sure that I'm being heard.
You say twice, 1, 2, or you clapping 10 times. Or you must learn.
So let me show you what I have here. What I have here is the flag of Dominica. I I've carried that flag wherever I've gone. It's a flag that represents our dignity. It represents our independence. It represents our pride. We've never sold our flag. That flag was designed by my English teacher in 1978. His name, Alwyn Bully. And we give thanks to Mr. Bully.
Respect Alwyn Bully.
And I'm here tonight to endorse the candidacy.
By the way, Alwyn Bully is my field mentor when it comes down to that situation. Anyways.
Your brother Julius Gabriel. Handbag. I endorse his candidacy because GRANDBAY needs change.
Of course. My father.
All through my youth, we supported the independence movement. And I came to GRANDBAY with Pierre Charles and Jabala Fontaine, and Paul Alexander Lawa and Grell and Brother John Fabian.
And that was after he was dealing with Roosevelt Douglas. That was after Rosie Douglas. He was very, I told you, you don't know.
Pierre Charles. Pierrot is gone. Pierrot was betrayed.
Yep.
He was backstabbed by the very people who now hold power in Dominica. John Fabian took over. John Fabian didn't last. He passed away. Then we had Ed Regis.
Passed away.
The third sitting parliamentarian in the history of Dominica to have died in office from one village, GRANDBAY. My people,
something wrong.
Something is wrong.
Oh yes. Something wrong.
Is wrong because it speaks to the repeating of these deaths that have very little link to reality, to normalcy. And in the midst of those deaths, we also had the deaths of two opposition candidates who died rather young. Mr. Alexander, the teacher, and Norrin John, the attorney at law. Now, those deaths could have been all natural, but I believe there's something more sinister afoot. I'm a deeply spiritual person. I believe there's a curse that has settled over our land.
Yeah, but I believe that too.
That's born of the betrayal.
I believe that to 100%, man. 100%.
Of our nation, by a group of men, supported by some women, who have sold our flag. So I endorse tonight Julius Gabriel, a young man from GRANDBAY who does not depend on handouts. He does not depend on bribes to make a living. He earns his living by
driving a
bus.
Yep.
Serving his community. And Julius Gabriel, Gebu, is the David that will take down Goliath.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Let us for a moment look at GRANDBAY and what GRANDBAY used to be. South City, Liberation City. That gave us Midnight Groovers. That gave us UNICEF and the land reform movement at Geneva Estate that he led. The land of milk and honey that was productive. With BrBpTV and with cattle, beef production and milk production. And
actually use that term milk and honey for the entire Dominica, man. And we're not using that at all.
Honey production. And Fete Isidore and bakeries and farms. What does GRANDBAY produce today? Well, let us go down the list of the things that Mr. Gabriel, with the help of the conscious Dominicans and GRANDBAYians overseas and at home, working together, will do. Brother Gabriel is going to work on a GRANDBAY Community Development Corporation. That is an organization that will allow for GRANDBAYians of intelligence to come together, pool their resources, those of us at home and abroad, to do several things. And
this individual can make it happen, you know. He has, the brother has connections like, whoa, yeah, I only don't know. Hey,
one of the things we will do, just like the sister talked about, we have a lot of...
Scary to say you have friends. You don't have friends, no? That one have family, that one there.
Medicinal herbs in our island. But in 20 years of failed leadership, this government has not set up an institute of plant medicine. Julius Gabriel will allow us to do that.
Okay.
To set up an institute of plant medicine using the best practices in pharmacological engineering.
And it's not just him. He will also be helping them as well, especially when it comes down to factory setting up and this kind of things. Anyways, let's continue.
To invest investigate the medicinal properties of all plants, including
the
cannabis,
marijuana,
if necessary,
cannabis.
to derive from those plants the medicinal properties so we can actually make capsules and tablets and syrups.
By the way, that is $1 billion that is a multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? So if GRANDBAY can definitely do that, I mean, come on. GRANDBAY might be the next Ross University, next Ross. If they can organize these things for them to be able to get markets and whatnot to send out all over the place, that will be a good thing.
Serums in GRANDBAY.
And of course, given regulations in certain things where people don't abuse these kind of things for themselves, obviously. But yeah.
For Dominica's use as well as export overseas. That is what Mr. Gabriel proposes to do, and we will support him in that.
Yep.
We will also set up an Institute of Construction Engineering. Because all around Dominica, too many young people have no training in the vocational arts.
That's one of the things that Gabriel stated that he was going to be doing. Julius Gabriel stated that he was going to be doing.
So the Institute of Construction Engineering will train Dominicans in GRANDBAY and other places in electricity, in electrical engineering, so that they can wire properties. We don't have to wait for people from China or Colombia or Vietnam or Malaysia or Philippines to come to Dominica to build for us. Dominicans are
can build for themselves, of course.
For themselves.
Of course.
Build for ourselves. So we'll train our masons. We'll train our plumbers. We'll train our carpenters.
And you know what I'll do that? And you know what that will do, guys? That will stop the government from utilizing foreigners to come and do things that they know that the people can actually do when the people themselves are the one handling that. Once you take away the government situation, when government situation involved in this kind of things, they always bring people in to come and try to do these things. But the people will say, no, we can do it ourselves. And therefore, monies will then flow back into the people's hands instead of going back to the government. Especially if they're using the funds from Dominica and they're saying, okay, we'll get a piece of that funds for ourselves. Instead of it circulating within Dominica, come from overseas and coming into Dominica. That is one of the best things I think that can actually happen for Dominica outside of agriculture. Bringing in foreign exchange into the Caribbean. Well, more of the United States dollars that are actually higher. But that really matter, really, as long as foreign exchange is coming in and can boost up the economy. I think that is a vital thing right there.
We'll train folks to design rules that will be able to resist
hurricane
weather of the kind that we've been having, the high winds. We will work with Atrec Roofing Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Guys, this brother, he's no joke, man. There's a reason why I'm reacting to.
They've offered to work with us. They've offered to work with this government, but this government doesn't work with serious companies.
Nope.
Or they work with fly-by-night pirates who will keep our money overseas.
Yep.
So we will have an institute of
and then get the cut.
In that focus on industry, we will create in GRANDBAY light industry. What is light industry? Well,
what is that?
In GRANDBAY, we used to have BrBpTV and mats and different things that GRANDBAYers could make. No more. Today, young people have to depend on handouts from politicians.
Yep.
That disrespect, that lack of pride, that lack of dignity is not
Demasculating men. We have to then and go and beg the Prime Minister for all,
not what we want to be.
Father, help us.
So that light industry would be to produce in GRANDBAY textiles, t-shirts, printing and other, handcrafts, mats, shoes, and also automotive parts. Companies that are willing to come in for small light industry to make parts like brake pads and recharge shocks, because you know our roads are very rocky and our shocks go bad. These are small industries.
People can actually fix shocks, you know, guys. They just fix shocks, not just replace shocks. They literally fixing shocks. I guess that's what one of the things that he's talking about right there. I found this out in the United States. That they were just throwing away the shocks. Then people refix. Why tell you?
That could have been put in. All of these things that we mentioned. In 2007, Alec Lawrence and myself went to China with the gentleman from New Jersey, Sylvester, and we toured factories in China to bring down partners that would invest with us in Nature Island Industries.
He told me that.
The plan was to have one factory in GRANDBAY, one in Portsmouth, and one in Roseau. So that our young people or students would be able to assemble computers, laptops, computers, hair dryers. They'll be able to do things to help themselves. We sent down to Dominica items for assembly in GRANDBAY and in Portsmouth and in Roseau. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters,
guess what happened?
do you know what happened? All of those items were in Sean Douglas's office. At that time, Sean Douglas was the press secretary, so he had samples in his office. And the samples disappeared. And the factories were never built. Each of those factories will, of course, no more.
By the way, it's not Sean Douglas' fault, eh? It's not his fault. Just putting that out there. I know a little more than
$250,000.
$250,000 to build a factory. You take $1 million, you build four factories. You're talking about Portsmouth, you're talking about Roseau, you're talking about GRANDBAY. You can also build one, I don't know, in Kulibistri or somewhere in the middle of the area. $1 million. We're spending over $100 million, not over 100, but just about $100 million dredging river. You mean to tell me we can create 4 factories? And we have the resources, we have the product, we have the produce to do.
$50,000, brothers and sisters, is what in fact this government spends on one campaign rally. What do they bring you, brothers?
$50,000 on one campaign. I know about first time was 30-something million dollars. Second time $63 million, I believe it is. And the last time there was well over $100 million in total. Maybe you're talking about the different. Well, then again, probably they're giving monies and all those kind of things there to people. So that's probably, well, not probably. That's also included in that vibrations right there. But per campaign is talking about per campaign setting, I'm guessing.
Brothers and sisters, they bring you Morgan Heritage. They bring you McLaughlin.
McLaughlin was over $250,000, eh? US. Well, according to my knowledge.
They bring you all kinds of fancy dancy artists from overseas, popcorn. And you have to jump up in a red shirt, wearing a red hat, blowing a red horn, playing the fool.
Oh yes.
And after that is done,
the absolute royal donkey.
What do we have in GRANDBAY to show for it?
Absolutely nothing. Oh, you had a little fun. Absolutely nothing for your children. Nothing.
Cracking a red whip. Nothing in GRANDBAY.
That is literally, no, brothers and sisters. Literally nothing.
No factories in GRANDBAY. We also want to do small hotels in GRANDBAY. So that GRANDBAY people can have little hotels. 5 rooms, 10 rooms. Nothing big.
Hotels or motels. This sounds like motels. But yeah, we get the point.
So that the thousands of GRANDBAYrians in the United Kingdom
can come and stay in a cheaper spot, man. Instead of having to go and
in the United States, in the USVI, when they come down, they don't have to go to the nasty hotel in town.
Yep.
Because in Dominica today, it's just 1 or 2 families making all the money.
Yep.
1 or 2 families making all the money.
True. Is lie? Tell me if it's lie. If it's lie, give this video a thumbs up, guys. If it's correct, give this video a thumbs up.
Hotels, little hotels in GRANDBAY, owned by GRANDBAY people.
I think it's motels he's talking about, not the hotels. But okay.
So the dollar will recycle in GRANDBAY. The money will come to GRANDBAY and will
come
stay in GRANDBAY.
Yep.
Let us hear it for handbag, brothers and sisters.
Yes,
That is the plan of handbag ads. He intends to have the people of GRANDBAY be empowered. He believes in people's power. And the people on the ground. The people on the ground in GRANDBAY. That's what he believes in. So he wants it to be the case that every year we have a South City Liberation Festival.
Of course.
What will be the South City Liberation Festival? Well, we'll bring bands from around Dominica and those in GRANDBAY to play music. We'll also look at the culture of liberation, the Negma War, of UNICEF. What did we do in Dominica to gain our freedom from slavery? The modern slavery that's been imposed by this so-called Labour Party, which is not a Labour Party, but a party of treachery, a party of betrayal, a party that has plundered the island for its own personal profit of a few, just a few. Yep. And that every election comes by to give you a bribe, a little this, a little that.
That is happening right now. Look at the ferries. Guys, my camera just died here. But look at what they're happening right now. All of a sudden, ferries just coming in. Boom! Ferry open. How much cases in the French islands? Plenty cases. All cases was how much? What 700 and something is now down to 300 and something. Now they're planning to bring ferries in now. Ferries in. All of a sudden, GRANDBAY by-election. Ferries coming. Oh, okay, yay! I tell you, boy. So much they care. They care about so much things, you know. They care. That is what they say. They care But all of a sudden, ferries coming in from the French islands that have so much cases, and is the okay then? All right.
Even the apartments, there's a question as to if you will have title to the apartment. We don't want people to be given bribes or to be given things. We want people in GRANDBAY and all over Dominica to be able to earn a living, a decent living, that they can be respected in their country, that they can own a piece of their country, that they can have title to their property. That's what we want. Now, let me tell you why you must not vote for Henderson. I don't say don't vote for Henderson because he's not from GRANDBAY. That is part of it.
Yep.
But the main reason you should not vote for Henderson is that he's a failure. Repeat after me. Henderson is a failure.
Henderson is a failure. Is a failure, of course.
What has he done?
Nothing. Nothing.
There's not one factory in St. Joseph.
Wait.
After almost 2 decades of his tenure.
Wait.
There's not one model farm in St. Joseph. After almost 2 decades of his tenure.
Yes, sir.
There's not one small hotel owned by a person in St. Joseph so that the St. Joseph folk in England and Canada and the USVI can come down and stay. What you have in St. Joseph, brothers and sisters, is the same thing you have in GRANDBAY. Mass unemployment, poverty, and dependency.
I tell you, boy.
The policy of this government is one of mass unemployment, poverty, lack of agriculture, lack of industry. We cannot survive anymore under this tyrannical rule of folks who have looted.
Come on, GRANDBAY people. Come on, man.
The treasury of Dominica and have placed the funds of our country outside, and then we find our passports on sale like halfway in Afghanistan and other places.
And man viving with passports. Man viving more than Dominica who are real Dominicans. Man just buy passport and they viving all over the place. Vive on, man. Viva la vida loca.
Hey. Dearly beloved, I want you to vote for Julius Gabriel because he's the better choice.
Of course.
He's the David that's going to slay Goliath. He's the one who's going to lift the curse of dependency. He's the one who's going to bring in Dominicans, GRANDBAYians of intellect and ability and respect to work hand in hand with their fellow citizens.
The thing is, a lot of people think is handbag Julius Gabriel that going to be the one doing things. No, he's going to be surrounded with people who actually do it, just like Trump and all the other people who are rich people in society. They have competent people around them. Skerrit are competent people around him. Who's the competent person around Skerrit? Who? Henderson? Vince Henderson is the competent person that's going to be around Skerrit. Vince, the man who's done absolutely nothing in ambassadorship, nor in his own constituency. Boy,
he's going to eradicate the tribalism that this government has placed on Dominicans, where if you don't agree with them, you're persona non grata in your own land.
Yep.
The brother from Moonseri is correct. We need respect.
Of course.
Julius Gabriel will give us respect. The brother from Moonseri is correct. We need pride. Julius Gabriel will give us pride. And so, I tell you that Vince Henderson is not only ineligible to be your candidate, but he was an ambassador in Washington. Julius,
tell us about that.
Gabriel, my people of GRANDBAY, Henderson held not one community meeting
not one.
to talk about development in Washington.
But he felt the urge to come back, man. He felt the urge to come back, man. He felt he needed to contribute to his community when he had the capacity as ambassador to contribute to the vast. I tell you, boy, we good in that place there, though, because all you don't see. Truckers all you don't see, bus drivers, nurses, all you don't see, boy. But thank God I'm online. Thank God I'm online. But all you don't see, boy.
People in Washington. He held not one community meeting to talk about hurricane reconstruction with our people in Washington.
But he loved Dominica, so nothing for Hurricane Maria.
Other than this one meeting we had after Maria, he never came back. What he did in Washington is the same thing they did in Dominica.
In St. Joe.
He divided the community between those who support Skerrit and those who don't.
Yep.
And so he was in Washington doing little achieved anything for Dominica.
Yep.
Nothing at all. So
Leave
he
it
has
to
no
nothing.
record as the MP in St. Joseph.
Poor.
He has no record to show as
ambassador.
in Washington.
Come on.
He has no record
As a lawyer, come on. You know, you say you build in your law firm in Canada. Who are you telling that to be this? Some people were even saying, how is he in the United States, in Washington, studying law in Canada? Maybe you're doing it online. I don't know if it's online or something he's doing. But if you're in the United States, when you try... But anyways, let me leave that alone.
to show as an ambassador at the Organization of American States and with geothermal, where he's supposedly a consultant. 20 years, there's been no geothermal plant that has been completed. So we have a...
And he's the best. I've heard somebody say in the comments or something like that. He's the best one, you know. He's the best. What has become of geothermal? I myself am not a fan of geothermal because I think if you're taking out something from the earth, you have to put back. And if you don't put in back nothing, well, they say they're creating reinjection things. So I guess that is okay. But if you're taking out the substance and the steam to then create by, let me leave that alone. Yeah?
That's trying to have Grandbarians vote for him, but whose record is one of utter and complete
nonsense,
catastrophic failure.
Nothing.
So my friends, I ask you.
That's why I tell you, Julius Gabriel has done more for GRANDBAY than all of the candidates combined. Oh my God.
To vote for change, vote for Julius Gabriel, who's a good man, a hardworking man, a Grandbarian who loves his people, who wants to bring pride and dignity back to GRANDBAY, and who, my friends, will never do this. He will never set off flag.
Yep.
He will always hold it high. And he will do all that there is to be done to ensure that the legacy of GRANDBAY is not one of failure, but one of success. One where peace, love, and unity reigns, and where the heritage of productivity in GRANDBAY can once again shine through. God bless GRANDBAY. God bless Julius Gabriel. Vote for handbag all the way. Thank you very much.
Yes, guys. So this is what he had to say in this regard. I honestly thought he was going to be talking about Rosie Douglas in his association and what they tried to do, and of course when they brought the plans for Scary them for them to organize to create this the same thing, factories and this kind of things in Dominica. Not one thing. It's not like people who have the drive to push it. You know, you have the money supply. Create the factories now. You dredge a river that don't bring in no type of money. Hundreds of, almost $100 million. I think $103 million was spent to dredge the river. And it'll take out what $1 million to build a factory that can actually generate billions of dollars. Come on. Guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. I go long on this video. I had to make sure that you guys heard everything on this here track, so you can pretty much see if you missed it, you will definitely catch it again. Definitely, guys. I think this guy individual is a very powerful individual, very sound, and he's linked. He has a lot of connections, brothers and sisters, when it comes down to this situation, and he's planning to work with Julius Gabriel during that time as well. Of course, not trying to side. That's one of the things that I like about the Roots individuals. The Roots ones, they understand the struggle of the people and try to help. Although some of them does get a little, you know, something. But you can pretty much tell from Gabriel right there that, of course, he's been trying his best. Both of them are actually named Gabriel. One name is Christian Gabriel, and the other one is Julian Gabriel. No, Gabriel Christian. I say Christian Gabriel. Gabriel Christian. And he, of course, the individual going for GRANDBAY is Julius Gabriel right there. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. Give this video a thumbs up for the things that he's saying. Hopefully, I want to see these things happen in GRANDBAY and a number of places, the factories that have been set up, because that's what we are. Talk to literally any economist across the world who knows about Dominica. And when I was up there with thing, I met some economists that were also linked to Barbados and a number of places right there, who said when they look at Dominica, Dominica is an agricultural nation. We utilize our herbs. We can create invisible money. The fruits and these things that we're sending out there is invisible monies that can be created. Money out of thin air because of the fruits. You plant a tree, all you have to do is pick the thing and maintain the tree. And just pick the fruits and sell. You don't have to do much. Box the thing, send the thing, export, get your money back. Invisible money is created, man. And that is one of the things that I think is very beneficial in Dominica to do. There's not much things you have to set up, and then after you organize your agricultural sector, then you go into the tourism sector using the monies that have been generated from the agricultural sector. But it seems like these people who are in the leadership positions, you know what they're doing? They're taking the money for themselves. They're selling passports and literally not doing nothing in Dominica. Literally nothing. You can set up factories, $250,000 to set up a factory. Huh? $250,000 to set up a factory, Marquez, and you cannot do that. 4 factories, you need to set $1 million. Come on, my people. We can do better than that. You don't think if we organized factories 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, the people will be able to do things? But apparently it looks like they dumbing down the people. Look now, they're trying to, they bring ferry to try to overturn the things in GRANDBAY that the people, a stronghold, labor stronghold. They're trying to overturn the whole thing. I hope people realize what is going on. People constantly complaining over and over. Are you do that complain, boy? Are you do that complain, or are you doing the same thing over and over? I watch people in Postma doing the same thing. They're trying. It's a good thing I can understand people a little deeper than what they're showing. People literally feeling the blunt, but they won't say nothing because they're waiting for a handout or something. Or the child somewhere overseas, and they don't want to say nothing before the child lose the scholarships. And it's kind of, you know, easy that place, that way. Unless all you do something about it, or you constantly live in the same thing over and over and wondering why this thing is happening to you. Because you allow it. That is why. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Give this video a thumbs up like I said before, and I will see you guys in the next reaction video.